Welcome to the Unaffiliated Creatives Podcast, a show where independent artists can learn from other independent artists. My name is kaeveryday, and each week I will be speaking with some of the most creative minds in the indie music space, trying to figure out what they have learned while navigating through the music industry without the support of major record labels. This podcast is brought to you by the good people over at King Neppy Studios and powered by Red Weasel Media. So let me ask you this question. Do you consider yourself a brand?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I had to prepare to myself to get to that point, but absolutely, I'm a brand. Every piece of it, but more so branding in different aspects of the different businesses that I'm involved in. So, am I a brand? I'm a few branded businesses. And from the media side, from the art side, from the music side to the fashion side. So, yeah, to answer the question, I'm a brand in a couple of different ways. So, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to share my story real quick, and I think I've already talked about this on some podcasts. Y'all go back and look at all my podcasts. Y'all will probably hear this somewhere. But I had a situation recently where, as an artist, I wasn't necessarily looking at myself as a brand, but I had to be reminded by somebody else, basically, that they were looking at me as a brand. I had an opportunity to perform on a TV show, and the coordinator went and they basically scrubbed my social media, and they were going through looking at all the videos that I had posted, and they just wanted to make sure that everything that I was putting out there was clean because it was a daytime TV show. So they was asking me questions about, hey, well, you sure you don't cuss in your music, stuff like that? And I was like, no. They was mixing up stuff that they heard from other artists that I was just showcasing on my IG page. So I had to go back and scrub my Instagram page to take all that stuff down because I didn't want to take a chance of missing out on the opportunity because they was mixing their music up with mine. It was a hard lesson to learn, but at that point I realized that even if you don't consider yourself a brand as an artist, other people look at you as a brand. So that was definitely an eye-opening lesson for me. Yeah. So let me ask you this. Has there been any mistakes that you've made along this journey that we could learn from with you as an artist or as a producer or even in the other businesses that you're involved in? Have you made any mistakes that we could learn from?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing is trusting yourself. I think that's believe in yourself, invest in yourself. Like, I should have did that sooner. But I was always, there was a pivotal time when people thought I was like, okay, you being scatterbrained by doing this and that. And then everything that I ended up, because they cast that on me, I started to believe that and not understanding that I was multitasking as far as learning so that I could get here. Because see, not all the time is, Johnny Q thinking, oh, I'm going to be a music artist. Do you know everything that it takes to be a music artist? Did you do this? Did you put in the 10,000 hours? Did you study? Right? Because everybody wants everything instant. Will you still have the same passion for music if it takes you 10, 20 years to get there? That's the key thing. For me, the hard lesson was I had to say yes. It was worth it to 20 years later to go, never sign a contract. I'm not bound to anyone. There's no one that can benefit from my likeness. I own that. So for me, I felt that young gentleman earlier today that I was looking at his video, I felt him on that. Because when you put your own money up, you're going to talk different. You're going to speak different. You're not going to let somebody just come in, In my situation, what would $15,000 do me? Like,
That would always be an insult, right?
Right. I couldn't give away that kind of equity. for $15,000. I couldn't give away my likeness for $15,000. I couldn't give a piece of my equity for that. Not knowing what I've put into myself. And there's no need for me to share all of that, but just know that I put it all up. I pushed all the chips in the middle of the table. But at the same time, when I pushed, I took the big risk. And with the big risk come the big reward. Because you either get the big reward or you get the big fail. Now, failure is necessary. Now, I understand that. Like sometimes we have to fail forward, but not everybody want to take the failure. Absolutely comes with the business. But the more that you fail, the more that you learn. And if you never fail, you never learn. So that's one of the biggest things. And then, like I was saying earlier, you gotta take the steps to own your business. And if you don't own your business, don't get mad when somebody else come in and offer you $15,000 and you didn't read the fine print. And then 20 years later, you figure out that if you go open up a popsicle stand, they still get in. They get 10% of that or whatever you signed a contract for. You got to pay attention to the paperwork. And to me, you can go to McDonald's and make a couple of $1,000s. I mean, so really what they're paying you for. So what is the 50? I guess the better thing is understanding what the most time they want to give you 15,000 or 20,000 as an artist. What is that really for? What you thinking? Well, that's 15,000. I'm gonna pay my mama bills off. But really, what that was for you to go get a microphone, for you to get a laptop, and for you to get Fruity Loops or whatever plugins you needed, so that you could create music all day long. Right, and making content. That's what that $20,000 is for, if you're smart. But if you went and bought a Rolex and then you got to go back with your hand out, like, it doesn't make sense. And then understand, now they're getting pieces of your touring. Now they're getting pieces of anything that they feel that they put you in the spotlight and you benefited from. So the $15,000 gets them in, and if you're that talented of an artist and you make millions of dollars, they got in on that for the cheap, for the low. And you didn't protect that. So I would tell anybody to protect that. And don't sign anything if the check ain't there. If it's, I wouldn't even as a young artist, I wouldn't even sign no deal. Like, to be honest with you, it's too accessible. Like, take the time to learn everything you need to learn to do it yourself. Build your platform. Hold the line. I know it's tempting. Hold the line. And I'm a lot older, so for me, it's time management. And as far as I have a different desire for music. I do music for the love. I don't do music for stuff. Right? That's the difference. Like, when I was younger, I wanted the crib, I wanted the Porsche, I wanted all of that. I wanted all of the vanity. But once you get it without the music, once you get that out of the way and you get those things for yourself, you don't have to put all of that pressure on your music, and you can just make music the way that you want to make music. Because you can go get the vanity stuff yourself if you are resourceful. And I'm going to be honest with you. And when everybody is looking, I'm about to say something real. People will spend $100 for a hoodie before they spend 99 cents on a song download.
I want you to say that again for the people in the back or the people that didn't hear you the first time.
They will spend $100 for a hoodie before they spend 99 cents for a download. That is facts.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that one.
I made more money with fashion than I did music. Period. In a shorter time frame. If you ask me what I learned, that I wish I would have got into the merch game first. Then I would have been all right. I should have got into the merch game 20 years ago. that's what I should have did. And then took the pressure off my music. But that's the, because the more that you understand, and then it gives people a better understanding of business. Because if you making $2,000 to $5,000 a month on merch, you're not gonna take the $15,000 deal. You're not gonna take it. That's like, what's that? That's pocket change.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you, your focus might change a little bit too. Think about it. It just makes sense. If you've invested most of your time in making the next song and the next song and the next song, but you realize that making the merch is bringing you more money, are you gonna start focusing more time on the merch, or you gonna keep pumping out song after song after song and it ain't bringing you
Here's
back?
a brilliant idea. Put the music in your visuals with the merch.
Hey, when you know better, you do better, right?
Right. Your music video is now the lookbook. Right? So you're going to get, and then you're going to drum up more grassroots support that way. But once again, we got to go back. Like, just throwing your name on a hoodie ain't it. You really got to get into the understanding. You need to, if you don't know how to do graphic design, think about it like this. Let's say you just had to pay a graphic designer, let's say on the cheap, $500. Well, let's just say $500 for your artwork, but making it the artwork universal. Or it doesn't have anything to do with it could be just a slogan or something that's community based that's part of your ethos, right? So that is where you're getting revenue from to buy the microphones, to get the studio, to learn engineering, or get one of your buddies to learn how to engineer so he could be the guy engineering while you do it. But it would behoove you to learn it yourself so you can because if you know better, you do better, and then you can put out music more quickly. Now, that's taking more weight on yourself, because some people say, man, I ain't got time for all that. You ain't got time to have a bigger cut of the pie.
So you don't have to sign that slave deal.
You don't have time for equity? I don't understand.
Hey man, some people cool with the $15,000.
Right. That's like renting a house and buying a house. You just rent it. There's no equity, right? When the landlord say he ready to sell, then, right? So I don't know. But I would say that. And but if you have that following and you got that fan base, they'll support you if you really put in the work. But not everybody want to put in the work. So, if I would have did anything differently, that's what I would have did. And I can't say never sign a contract because I never signed one. So I don't have a contract. So I am free and clear. Some people say, well, you don't have as much music online. It's because me as an artist, I'm well past my time. I don't want to get on stage. I don't want to do anything. But I do jump on beats so that I don't have to be interviewed. So if I can showcase my artistry, which 9 times out of 10, my skill set in writing is going to challenge that artist that want to work with me. And then they're going to understand, well, yeah, these beats ain't the ones to play with. I better focus in and get that done. So.
Or you can do like me. You get tired of sitting around waiting for somebody to jump on one of your tracks. I say, you know what, man, I'm just going to jump on my own stuff, man. I ain't got time to be waiting around all day for these people to finally want to jump on one of your beats. Like, I'll show you how to do it.
Well, and like for me, I'm always involved in a project. So it's not necessarily my footprint, but it's the footprint somewhere else that I'm behind the scenes involved in. So, and I love those situations because I love those artists that I work with. And makes me feel better. Like I don't like not being interviewed or, someone that doesn't have any kind of artistry telling me what they need from me, and they haven't been proven in my book. So, and I'm not knocking anybody, but it's just been other times where I just might have felt like, I don't really have a relationship with this artist. I think I'm going to pass. Because you kind of get in the churn of, oh, I produced this didn't come out right. It didn't come out right because you was just a beat maker. You wasn't a producer. You just gave the beat. You didn't produce the record. So if you didn't produce the record, you're just a beat maker. So you can't get mad at what you get. That's just facts.
All right, man. I think you didn't really took a lot of time here today to really break a lot of things down for us, and I really appreciate it. But before you get out of here, I want you to tell everybody where they can find you online, drop all your social media tags, give it to us.
Yeah, so you can find me at Angry Hearts Deluxe on IG, and King Neppy on King Neppy 757. So those are the only two socials that I have right now. Working on Web 3.0 on my Discord. Like I said, I stay behind the scenes. I like being in the shadows, but I'm about to come out to the light now.
Yeah, I'm about to bring him out to the light because I wasn't gonna say this at first, but since you just said you coming out to the light, so me and this man about to start working on the EDM project. So I'm just gonna put it out there so y'all be looking for this project. We ain't even gave it no name, no title yet. He gonna be the one cranking out the beats, and I'm gonna be the one, behind the microphone doing what I do. But it's gonna be an EDM project. It's gonna be dropping sometime next year, so y'all stay tuned.